Welcome, guys, to Prepared episode 20 of your weekly TBC breakdown, and a little bit of WoW news as well. We got a lot of stuff to unpack and cover today. A lot of stuff, and it helps having Zirene here for this one as well, because he's had a lot of experience in a lot of these topics we're going to be talking about today, as someone that worked for Riot Games and such in the past.
I had no idea what you're talking about.
no idea. He's under NDA, so nothing. Riot Games, a perfect place to work. Please give me the beta for your upcoming game.
Ooh, yeah, man. That's I don't even know if I could ever get into that. You'd have to work at the company at this point. It's like,
oh man, that'd be so much fun. Actually, no, probably not. If you're in the beta right now, they're probably making it. Okay, you're gonna run this dungeon 200 times to make sure there's no bugs in here.
Well, I mean, you would hope people do testing like that, right? I mean, I don't think WoW does that type of testing, but maybe for their new content.
I think it's called TBC Live.
That.
That's where the testing happens.
Oh yeah. The streamer alpha, right? The actual guinea pigs. Why would we hire QA analysts when we could just have the streamers do it? It's fucking brilliant. Streamers have fun. They get early access, and we get to see a lot of bugs. Actually, that was a really interesting thing when I did QA was no matter how many times you tested something internally, I was the lead playtester on Rek'Sai, and I worked very closely with the designer on how to balance her before release.
Was your feedback just that this champion is stupidly broken?
Yeah, it was basically her burrowed Q, the thing that's like a 1600 range skill shot.
Yeah.
That used to slow. So that's why, when it hit people said originally they were like, "Wow, I feel like it would slow because it's just like a projectile that finishes people or tags them now." But yeah, it used to slow, and your gank used to be you throw that at you don't even aim for the fucking person, you aim for the caster minions. It blows up, slows them, and then you come in.
Good. I remember that on launch. I think it was Snipe Rek'Sai or something. People were doing the stupid build where they were literally playing him as a long range sniping champion. Mm-hmm. Fun times.
Her.
Yeah.
The monsters are her. We checked. We made sure. The queen of the Xur. Yeah. So, yeah, being a QA analyst, though, to get to the point I was going to make, is regardless of how many times you test something internally for months, as soon as it hits live, within the first hour, you have more iterations than you ever could have had of whatever tests, and more bugs will surface, more situations where it's this versus this champion that literally never saw any play internally, and people had no idea what the interaction was going to be because you don't have literally playtesters. Playtesters get to do 3 games a day, 4 games a day.
Okay, here's a question, for you that work in playtesting. This is kind of a side topic before we get into the Blizzard lawsuit and all the heavy stuff today. Mm-hmm. But what do you think about? Have you heard about the whole New World graphics card situations?
All I heard was it makes them go boom.
Yeah, it makes them go boom. It makes them go boom, apparently. I don't know what happened with your playtesting or what, but literally multiple graphics cards. At first, people were like, is it just 3090s? And then there were some big YouTubers like J2Sense who does a tech channel who's come out and said, yeah, no, we've got all of these other graphics cards are also going boom. So it's not just that one graphics card. And it seems to be a problem with the game, that they get unlimited FPS or something like that. I don't know how they didn't catch that, but maybe the testing internally was very small and they just needed way more people.
Yeah, people give testing a lot of credit when it's okay. I'm gonna remove the veil. I'm gonna have you guys look behind the curtain and reveal the Wizard of Oz is actually fucking just a guy. So when you look at something like a video game company, a lot of people think oh, they tested these things, or they did this, or they did that. A lot of the times they probably didn't. I didn't play Rek'Sai against every single champion in the game, right? There's too many of them. Yeah. I played it against a lot of champions that were being balanced or tuned because people would be playing other things that are going to get changed because the play testers are going to change or play the things that are getting buffed, nerfed, right? To give feedback. So I'm playing against a buffed thing that never sees live and shit like that. So yeah, it was it's where you're looking at something and going, hey, they probably tested this. Honestly, they probably didn't, right? You're like, oh, maybe they tested it with graphics cards. Probably didn't. It's probably some guy just sitting there going, shit, fuck. Like, because maybe they tested it but didn't test it for long enough, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the video game companies are not like the FDA. So they don't test things for a long time and then go like, this is probably safe. Yeah, it didn't kill anybody, so you're probably good. Actually, we should probably wait like another 2 years to see if it does kill anybody in the meantime. But we'll slowly approve you. So yeah, it not regulated like that. There aren't like extensive tests on things. So if your computer go boom, well, it definitely was something that they didn't test for.
That would be depression for me because I've been one of the people watching for the new graphics cards when they came out, and I was looking at that thinking, I just upgraded my PC how long ago? This long ago? I don't really need a new graphics card. Okay, I'll wait. And then as you wait, you watch the graphics cards prices go up and up and up. And I'm like, oh man, no. Yeah. I shouldn't have been responsible. I should have just bought the graphics card. And now it's like twice the price.
But another thing too about like being a playtester that people don't really like understand when it comes to testing is your day is you come in, you do like a stand-up meeting where everybody's talking about like what the goals are or what's being changed. You play a game, you sit down, give feedback. You play another game, sit down, give feedback. You go to lunch. The designers will make changes during lunch. You come back, you do another 2 games, and then you're done for the day. It's literally a 4-game day, right? And you're playing 2 patches ahead. So when you go back home and you play, you're not playing on you're not playing on the patch that's like even one behind what you're testing. You're testing shit that's never going to see live ever. So when you're playing something in like WoW, you might, or like if you're playtesting a video game, you're playing something that may never see live versus other things that may never see live. So getting like a good barometer of what's good, what's bad is very, very hard to do. And that's why things get released too strong, too weak, etc. in all video games, right? So yeah, it's very, very difficult to be a playtester because it's not a gigantic team either. Like I'm trying to think here and say like Riot Games, enormous company in terms of video gaming, and the playtest team used to be just high elo players who would get together after work and play. And that was like really old days. We're talking like 2014, 2013. It wasn't until 2015, 2014, by the end of that year, where they actually had an official playtest team, and it was just 10 fucking people, right? It's just 10 people. That was it. And the designers are like silver or gold. So the designers are doing like silver gold playtests with each other, while you're doing like higher elo, masters, challenger, diamond, like against each other for like, there's only 10 players. And that team has a lot of mobility too. People like lead, it's like an entry level position kind of. So yeah. It's very small back then, and it still is. So yeah, video games don't get tested as much as you think they do. Really, honestly. That's why things get released buggy all the time. So yeah.
Well, I mean, on a kind of related thing, did you see the Final Fantasy developer interview that
yes,
is making the rounds?
Yes, the one where he's talking about like that where we took inspiration from WoW.
Yeah.
So it's like
so I'm gonna play in the background for people that want it. But I mean, it's in Japanese anyway. So unless you guys can understand Japanese, you guys can't understand it anyway. But yeah, they were. It was fascinating to watch someone. When I was watching it, I couldn't help but think, yeah, this is the difference between WoW and Final Fantasy right now. You have devs that seem to, you can see their passion, they're communicating it, they're like actively playing the game, actively like jumping in there and getting hands on with like the audience and such. And we don't have that in WoW. Like you mentioned last podcast, we've got that disconnect in between the devs and us. Like we never get this sort of interaction with the devs. We're not like we almost don't connect with them as people because we never get to see them as people. They don't talk to us as people.
Yeah, I actually think that community managers are typically a bad thing if they are run the way that Blizzard has pretty much always run them. You think back in the day, remember the original classic WoW forums where every server had like a forum, people would post there and shit. And then like a community manager would be the person who would respond to tickets or anything like that that had to do with a dev, right? That in between of a community manager, I think is just such a big disconnect. And instead, community managers should be people who can, give feedback on what the state of the community is, the how they're feeling about things, and like direct designers to threads and be like, hey, you could actually do a lot of use here, etc. So yeah, somebody just said Japanese work culture is pog. Well, I just think like these guys are incredibly humble and really understand like, God, it's something that like at Riot as well. One of the mottos was stay hungry, stay humble. And people would always like, if you got a little bit too chest thumpy, they'd be like, all right, like reel it in, keep it humble. It's a win for the team, but there's always things that we have to accomplish and keep the players happy, right? Work is never done. So your video game is a living, breathing thing, and you have to be able to keep it up to date, to change with the times and all that. So yeah, I just thought this was I had the same revelation of like, I don't know who to talk to when there's a WoW issue, right?
Yeah.
Like in classic WoW, I don't even have a person to talk to, like or yell at. Fucking back in the day with League of Legends, it was just like fucking Morello, dude. It's Morello. It's Morello's fault, right? Even if it wasn't Morello's fault, it was Morello's fault or it was Freak's fault. It was one of those two. Freak had nothing to do with that shit ever, but he's the guy who did the champion spotlight. So it was always Freak's fault or Morello's fault. I just thought that was like, people have a name that they can latch onto, and it helps your harder core community. I don't know how much it helps your super casual community, but it does help people like get into the game, be more approachable. But I just don't like the distant father type video game companies anymore that just feel like I can't talk to them, that they're like better than me, that I can't get their time, right?
Yeah.
And it always feels really humbling when a random player, viewer, etc., can actually discuss things with a person that has a name for that video game, right? Like Morello or like Freak, etc. So yeah, I think WoW has kind of lost that with a lot of the people like leaving, and even Overwatch with like Jeff Kaplan, right? When he was doing like, hey, do you know Jeff Kaplan here with the Overwatch team? That stuff I think is just, it's helpful and people like that shit. So
yeah. I was talking to chat yesterday. How is the difference in even how Blizzard would communicate to us in these things? It would always be in some sort of official type speak, and like it's kind of like I was giving them the example of where if like your flight gets delayed, they go over on the loudspeaker and they're like, we apologize for the inconvenience, etc., corporate speak. Whereas like in this interview, they're just talking to you as like one-to-one, as like people. Whereas when I feel like any interactions that we get with Blizzard is just like we get the corporate speak version of like the official, like it's we may have made some mistakes, but we apologize, etc., and we just never really hear from what's the real person behind all of that at all.
I've said this before, like a few podcasts ago, where gamers have a really good like bullshit detector, where when we smell something that feels corporate, it like sets off this sixth sense, right? Where we're just like, something ain't right here. Like, I don't feel connected to this. And a really good example of this is when I was talking about how good business is now bad business, right? Like the good business practices that corporations have are now bad business practices for gamers, because gamers go, you're trying to get fucking money, right? Because what we care about is game companies being passionate about their fucking game and building a game that they would want to play that we also enjoy, right? It's kind of like they built something and we're like, hey, this is good, and we're going to support you. But now everybody's so worried about building something that's good for the community instead of something that's good for them and then the community enjoys. So they keep trying to tailor their games to us instead of games that they would want to play themselves. And I think that a designer for one of the designers for old school WoW had actually talked about that, where it's kind of lost now. People are just trying to keep their job, get a job, get out of the office, and aren't trying to build something that is, incredible or like a great game. So yeah, but also, like I said, bad business is now good business. Like this type of interview, I think would have been really groundbreaking to have 10 years ago, right? For a video game company. Video games are like your publisher, who Santa Monica Studios or Sony or whoever, and they don't really ever do these things, right? like game companies just kind of stay pretty distant, or they don't have figureheads, etc. But over time, boom, it's people are like was it's like Kojima, right? It's like people are like latching on to people who make games that they enjoy, and then they start talking about it, and it's like, oh well, actually this person is very genuine, right? I think that's what that's I guess the word I'm looking for here is we have a bullshit detector, and we can tell when a game company is not being genuine to the passion of gamers and their gamers themselves. It sets us off, and we go like, you're a fucking suit. It's like, you're a fucking suit trying to get money. Like I can fucking smell that shit a mile away. And yeah, it just sets us off. And this interview to me made me go, fuck, I might play Final Fantasy 14 because they seemed like good people, right? Who actually like enjoy the game and enjoyed a game I enjoyed with WoW, right? And so that was something for me where I was just like, damn, like.
Yeah, definitely doesn't.
You wouldn't think that like doing an interview with a designer is something that's going to make people like really want to play your game when they're not even talking about how the game plays.
Yeah,
right.
It does. It feels like it feels like they're not out to screw you, which is what usually it feels like when we get into a Blizzard thing. It's like, how are they screwing us on this one? It's basically how you go into a lot of Blizzard stuff these days.
I think that's how that's why, and I will say this, that is more of like a gamer intuition, like a hardcore, like I would say like, there's different types of categories for gamers and like a spectrum of how like hardcore you are. I think like the super serious gamers and the people who are like a step or two below that, basically a upper middle gamer, everything upper middle gamer and above, really doesn't like that, where it feels like you're trying to appeal to the mobile game market.
Yeah.
As soon as like I said this last podcast where it was like, as soon as a company starts doing mobile games, I'm like, you're a fucking sellout. You just want China money. They're like, oh, we want you to be able to play the game in your pocket, and I'm like, you just want fucking dollar bills. That's what you're after right now. It's like, if you're saying you're gonna give me a mobile experience that is actually like, when you have options and you decide to go mobile when the computer is there, and there's not like a really good reason for it, I always feel like, it's a little bit disingenuous. So, yeah.
So related to WoW, how long do you think they're going to hold off on putting in a token now? Because they've had so much bad press. I feel like if they could get away with it, they would put the token in today. But I feel like the only reason they're holding back is that like maybe they're worried about the like negative feedback of things when they put in the token. But now it feels like it's been week after week of negative things for Blizzard. When do you think they would actually put it in at this point? Because we've had leaks that have said that they really do want to put them in at some point. For Classic, at least.
No. Like, I think you can't think short term right now as Blizzard. You have to think big picture at this point. You have to. I know like their company's not like going under or anything like that. I think like their stock literally dropped like a 1.5% or some shit. So it's not like people like thought the company was like worth less or anything like that. But I know a lot of people are saying they don't want to play any Blizzard games anymore after all of the allegations. I'm not sure. Like, I feel like if you're Blizzard, you don't do it right now. You don't try to make WoW a cash cow. Because if you do, I think you're trying to kill it. You're literally saying, okay, this thing is dead. Let's squeeze it for like it's literally like it's an orange that you've already squeezed, and you're just trying to get the last bit of juice out of it before you throw it away. That's how I would see it if they put the WoW token in right now, and it would also fuck the player trust, because player trust, I think,
all-time low.
I cannot think of a time that it has been lower for Blizzard, and it has been on the decline. Like, if you think about the last few months for Blizzard, just in general, it's been bad, right? Shadowlands delay, the release of a patch being lined up with another game, right? Like on purpose, kind of thing. Was that was what game? That was Ashes of Creation, right?
Yeah, Ashes of Creation.
Yeah, lining it up on purpose with Ashes of Creation. Having Nax come out very close to Shadowlands and messing up people's experience in both games. and then this shit, plus everything that happened with 9.1. So it's like, I cannot think of more bad blows to Blizzard in a row than these. Like, it has not happened, right? It's unprecedented. Blizzard was a company that people used to say, like, that's a dream job. I really want to work there, right? That dream is becoming a nightmare very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the last week, that's for sure.
Yeah, Blizzard need to go back to the basics, right? They need to go back to the basics. We talked about this a little bit, but I think that's the thing that's going to save them, is back to basics here. You can't be making a game or doing things in a game where your end goal is profit. You have to throw profits out the window. You didn't make a game back in the day and say, how am I going to make money off this? You made a game back in the day and said, this is going to be a cool fucking game. I hope people enjoy it, right? You can monetize it later, right? If you build it, they will come, but don't try to sell them something. Man, it's just a big disappointment. I'm glad you put this topic first, because I'm already sighing.
Yeah.
Because Blizzard is a company that I fucking loved growing up. I played StarCraft, I played Warcraft, I played Diablo, I played the trinity of those, right? I played Overwatch. Like, Blizzard had like home run designs, just genre defining games, and now it's not about the games anymore, right? It's about the money. And I understand when a company gets larger and you want to sustain things like that, but like the model, I guess it's also their games were never really set up in a way that allowed them to have a good like money making model, I guess, right? And that's where like League of Legends thrives, is like, skins are not invasive, the game is free to play and accessible for everyone, and then they can constantly do discounts and things like that for it. It's so funny because people don't like as many cosmetic items in WoW, and they're paying a subscription. So yeah, it's the subscription model is something that seems to be kind of dead, right? Yeah. In terms of being the best way to make money off a video game. So the money always comes when you make a good game, period. Yeah. But like, I'm sitting here and I'm sitting here going, dude, Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, like, you just bought the game and then you went to BattleNet. StarCraft, you bought the game and then you went to BattleNet. Like, they were able to sustain these games as a growing company by just the initial purchase of the game, and no like month to month or anything like that, right? So yeah, it was just a one-time purchase for all those games, and they were able to sustain back then, right? Now, I know they've been doing cuts and shit like that, but also back then, your employees did not make as much money as they do now. I get that, right? That is a big thing, is your company starts inflating. God, I think it was the thing that was happening at Riot, where Riot Games, in terms of it's revenue, right? Revenue is like overall how much money you guys are making. Profit is how much you're making beyond like what you're spending. Yep. For Riot Games, revenue has been the same for the past few years. They haven't been making more money, right? It like shot up and then it just plateaued. But their spending keeps going up, right? So adding more games on obviously is going to like make that skyrocket again. But you always have to be careful where your revenue and your profits start meeting, and then you basically have no profit. So yeah, that's a problem for games where your CEO is making a fuck ton of money. You know, your higher like positions are making a ton of money, because that's not what gaming was about back in the day. Gaming was about being a fucking random person in a goddamn garage with your buddy who made a game. Like, and then you guys are like, hey, we can make a company, and then realize you're in over your heads, and then retired very early from it. And then after a few years, completely millionaires, and then just had other CEOs and like corporate people come in and run your company. So it's a kind of a story that's happened a few times now.
Yeah,
with gamers who make good games.
I mean, sometimes the best parts of games weren't even stuff that or things that they necessarily intended. Like, I remember playing a lot of StarCraft. Just with my buddies. I was pretty lucky in that my dad was pretty techie, so we had a bunch of computers in our house. So I like every time my friends would come and have a sleepover when I was young, we load up the old what was it, like big game hunters map with unlimited resources.
Big game hunter, dude.
You do like 4 versus the computer, and you just all huddle in your base and build massive armies, and then just go run around destroying everything.
Run around.
That was fun, man. That would sound the most fun you could have as a kid.
Good.
But
the LAN parties, dude.
Oh man, those were some fun days. And I think one thing I want to say is that people might think by covering these topics. So I had some comments on the last YouTube video. They're like, are you sure you should be covering these topics? They're kind of negative towards Blizzard and negative towards like your livelihood, really. Like people were like, you might be hurting your own livelihood by spreading or signal boosting bad things about like the WoW and such. But like, it's not that we don't. Both me and Zirene love playing WoW. Like, Zirene plays too much WoW, I would say, and we still cover these.
This is coming from a man who has 2 rogues, by the way.
Three
rogues. Yeah, the man with 3 rogues says I play too much WoW. Yeah. Oh, okay, sir. Okay, no. That means I must really have a fucking problem. But yeah, you were saying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it's not that we hate the game. We both love playing the game, but I feel like it just feels right to cover them. But when Blizzard does good things, we praise them, and when Blizzard doesn't do good things, we call them out. That's just how it goes, especially on a news podcast, where our job is to cover the weekly breakdowns and things. We kind of have to cover these things, and it just goes with the territory. And believe me, I hope it doesn't hurt WoW and that they bounce back and they learn from all these things as well. Like I put in like a lot of crazy hours to build up my income from WoW to like a good steady level. So trust me, I don't want to hurt it any more than the next guy. But at the same time, I think it's also fair to not hide topics just because they might hurt like the game that we love.
In fact, I would say like talking about these things makes us, just to be meta for a second, more personable, more believable, and more genuine. Because my time at Riot, there's a lot of topics that like I would want to, like, there's always people talking about how a champion is too strong or too weak, right? Or like, why would they make Akali busted? And being a caster, I can fucking tell you, like, you see Akali jump into a fight, backflip, kill one dude in the other side, fucking jump to another, stun him, kill another dude, and then R back out on across another person and kill 3 people. And you go, wow, that was incredible. And you don't want to be like, that shit looks busted as fuck. Like, it's like that player is great display of skill on Akali. Like, God damn it,
I didn't want to tell you this.
Sitting there going like, this champion is
but before I became a toxic Zoe and Malzahar main, I was an Akali main. During the early seasons when she one-shot everyone with like one combo.
The one where you would like heal off of your Q.
Yeah, where you was just
and
like
running.
running.
Your E.
And it was disgusting.
You got like spell vamp or something. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. Good days.
The R resets. Ugh. Yeah. So, but that's the thing is, I had a colleague. I guess Freak is one of the people who gets a lot of shit for being a quote unquote Riot shill, because he never speaks poorly about like a game change, because he likes to be a lot more objective and just be like, he doesn't go, this is a good change, this is a bad change. He says, this change is to do this, right?
Yeah.
And whether or not that's like a good thing for the game, he doesn't talk about. He's like, yeah, the designers feel like, early game action is not being facilitated enough, so they make the scuttle crab. And I'm like, that just sounds like a bad idea. And he's like, well, it's going to facilitate early game action. And I'm like, it's going to facilitate fucking the game being way more codependent. And that's not something I like. And he's like, it'll make the game more codependent. Like, but when Riot does something well, he would be like, this is really good. And so he gets a reputation for being like a Riot shill, or like, people think he has like a stick up his ass when it comes to like, Riot, or ever talking negatively about them. And of course, like, Riot's going to love him for that, right? As a company, it's a good thing as an employee to be that way. But for like a public image thing, it doesn't make you as genuine. And when you have opinions about things over time, people start to value your opinion a little less, because it's just, you're just giving like objective, like robot stuff, and you're not really giving your opinion, right? And when he would say like, this change is good for the game, you're sitting there going like, is it really good for the game? Like, oh man, like I actually can't think of a commentator who's actually butted heads with more personalities or people outside of Riot on opinions of the game than Freak, because of the fact that he defends Riot a lot. So he gets like a lot of shit for that. And I think that, I don't think he's doing it on purpose, like being like trying to be like all about like Riot's great and all that, but it comes across that way. And I think he just likes to be objective on like changes instead of, he's like, I'm not a designer, I'm not the one like talking about whether this is good for the game or not. So yeah, that's what I feel like being genuine and being like being a player of the game myself and having the same player experience. Because if you guys out there are sitting at home going, what the fuck is Blizzard doing? I'm not going to sit here and live a different reality and be like, man, Blizzard's doing some really great shit. I'm going to be sitting there right next to you on the couch going like, what the fuck is Blizzard doing? Right? I'm not going to turn a blind eye to that. And I think it's very important that we're like that. Like if we ever sweep anything under the rug, I feel like that's just bad. That's one of the things that I don't like about game reviewers, right? The game reviewers are like, storyline needs a bit of work. The graphics are kind of outdated and the controls are really clunky. 9 out of 10. Like,
the whole game, yeah.
It's just like you want something that feels genuine, so that over time what you're gonna get, right? It's like that's why like there's some gamers who are there's some. I think people nowadays when it comes to game reviews prefer like individual YouTubers than they do like going to IGN, right?
Yeah. Because
IGN, you don't know all of the individual authors. You just see like, damn, they gave it a 5 out of 5, right? Or a 4.5 out of 5. But you go to like a individual YouTuber where you're like, this guy's tastes are very similar to mine after you've watched him a bit. And you're like, I trust this guy's opinion. He doesn't like furries and MMORPGs or something like that, right? And if he goes like, Final Fantasy 14, it's got some fucking furries. And I usually hate that shit. But this is actually a good game. You're just like, wait a second. So when you learn someone's tastes and stuff like that, I think it actually helps you figure out what their barometer is and allows you to, either identify with them or argue with them. So yeah, I think I think it's important to be very honest about those things.
I mean, the WoW space in general for content creation is interesting because I mentioned in the past where it's not actually that big. If you look at the subscriber counts of all the WoW YouTubers, I know we got Clack in the channel right now who loves, by the way, if you guys ever go to a Clack video, not his recent ones, but his old ones, 1 ad per minute. So the next time you guys complain about 1 ad every 20 minutes on the podcast, you guys know where to go to compare my ads to Clack, who loves to pump the 1 minute per ad. But yeah, the WoW content creators, we don't have 1 million subscriber WoW content creator. Like even Asmongold is not at 1 million subs on YouTube. It's actually like interesting for such a big game. There's not a single like 1 million subscriber YouTuber that I know of. Besides the people that got 1 million subs playing something else who also happen to play WoW, like the Shrouds of the world, or the Tim the Tatmans of the world. But yeah, there's not a single 1 million subscriber. The closest I could find was Barney64. And he makes like 1 video a year practically at this rate. And he's got like 900 something. And that's it. He's the closest one that I could find.
Yeah, because I was like, I used to like get like videos from like Daily Dose of Asmongold was the YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Daily Dose Asmongold. It would like pop up after I watched like one Asmongold video because of like he was doing like stuff on Fairlina. And like the oldest stuff from there is like 2 years ago. And it has like very little views, but then it got like a lot more popular. And there's some that have like, over 1 million views. But then that channel ceased about a year ago and the Asmongold TV started. And that has 705,000 subscribers. And that's only got videos back to 1 year.
Yeah. I think at some point he just hired the people doing those to just run his channel. I think is what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard I don't know if this is true. I heard he gives 100% of it to them. Yeah. Like he just lets them run the channel. So
But yeah, I mean, it's fascinating that Asmongold is.
They
Yeah.
do a fucking good job. Like they do a really good job. Like
I mean, they're fast as well. Sometimes like something will happen on the
yep.
stream, and you were like, Jesus, this guy like uploaded already. That was like 5 minutes ago.
The thing I like about the guys who run that channel, shout out to them, is they take stream highlights and make them YouTube content. That's the thing that I fucking hate and why I don't do a YouTube channel. And people always ask me, they're like, why don't you do a YouTube channel? Just put stream highlights there. I'm like, stream highlights for a YouTube channel is such a fucking League of Legends basic bitch thing to do. You just like, oh, watch this game that I played and popped off in. It's like, no, you got to make it different. Editing is very different on YouTube, where you you want to cut out the boring parts of the stream. You want to cut out the boring parts. You don't want to have stream highlights just be the thing and have it jump around. You need to have a through line and a story from beginning to end. Even if you need to add it as an editor, right? Add certain story things via Zoom, via like side comments or whatever, like, you know, for fun videos. But I think the guys who run this channel actually do a very fucking good job of making those stories pop out. And I honestly just think it's always really well done. And I can watch Asmongold's stream or like tune out of it. And then if I go see his YouTube video, the 14-minute long YouTube video, it's going to be, you know, it's going to actually draw me in and have me watch the whole thing on something that I watched maybe half of already live. So I just think they do a really good job of getting rid of all the fluff and making it like very direct. So yeah, it's actually great.
Yeah. The content I mean, it's interesting right now, and it's kind of related to this whole WoW thing. Is that like there's a lot of content creators who are kind of going negative or going or kind of tuning out on the WoW front. Like I saw speaking of Clack, who's in the chat, he's gone the meme route now. If you guys have gone to Clack's channel recently, he's getting a lot of views on these meme videos, but they're like 30-second, 1-minute short videos where he'll just be like on depressing topics in WoW. That's his new topic. Depressing topics in WoW, like, and he'll just meme him up for a minute and such. But they're so relatable because everyone in WoW feels these things. So he's kind of hit on the channel there. But then I saw Savix is kind of like looking at other games as well. He's one of the big WoW creators. Pint has quit WoW. Who makes some of the best videos. So
a few
Pint's,
times.
Yeah, a few times.
He's quit a few times.
A few times. He didn't even make it to max level this time. So I don't know if this might be the final one. He quit TBC before making it to max level. So yeah, I don't know. It's not looking great, but like someone explained to me, someone put a comment in the last video. They were like, well, like I'm really sick of all the channels that just do like news of the day uploads kind of thing. Like they'll find like the hot topic of the day and then they upload, hey guys, this BG update just came out and here are my thoughts, and everyone will have the exact same thoughts because they're just kind of copy pasting the news from everyone else. And I had to explain to him like, no, the reason they do these is because one, it's really easy views, like it'll just get views on YouTube because it's a hot topic, and two, it doesn't take any effort, and three, like a lot of the videos they might want to make might not even get that many views anyway. So like as a WoW content creator, a lot of those guys aren't really incentivized to make like the harder to make videos because they get the same amount of views just doing like a 5-minute news recording and putting it on YouTube.
Yeah. Like, so when it comes to content creation, people are like, oh, this is clickbait. Like fucking for League of Legends or anything like that. It's like 1,000 AP Vygar. You'll never guess what happens next. Like, oh, wow, I built what item? Like that type of fucking thing. God, I fucking hate it. But it's a thing that people click on and it gets clicks and it's been proven to work. And the problem with that is it makes it so that those content creators just do that content and it's not informative. It's not helpful. It's just fun shit that people like click on for like a giggle or get baited into. And I really think that the issue I have with that is, I mean, I worked for Pro Guides, right? Until like recently where like, you know, I'm taking a break and from working in general just to play WoW and then like, you know, and stream and shit like that.
And again, Zirene plays too much WoW, guys. Remember that?
Yeah. And when it goes into like content creation for them, it's like the things you do that are like, God, you could do like a video and it's like really helpful. And then they'll be like, wow, that was really good. We should do one of those every week. And you're like, dude, there aren't enough fucking tips for like the game to do those. So, like after like 4 months of doing that, where you've done like 16 weeks of like pro tips, 5 tips each time, you're getting to a point where you're just like, oh, when your cursor highlights green, that means the ward will go in the bush. Like, it's like at that point you just start going over basic shit, and it's no longer as helpful. When you have to make a video to meet a deadline every week instead of make a video because you want to make a fucking video, that's where I think the problem starts coming in. And that's what about YouTube has been a big deal, is people are making videos just to make videos at this point, and they aren't helpful. They're like top 5, dude. It's like the top 5 most OP champions versus and then the next day it's like the top 5 most hidden OP champions. It's like, God, yeah. It's like slightly different. And then it's like the top 5 most OP champions with like top 5 strongest champions that won't be banned, right? It's like champions that if your champions get banned, you should play these because they're really strong too, and nobody's going to ban them. Like when you have to make daily content, you start pulling shit out of your ass that isn't as helpful, and it's just to like keep people engaged. Because I get it, right? I get it. Being a content creator is a little scary, because every moment that you're not engaging with your audience is a moment that they could be engaging with somebody else, right? That is a big fucking worry for a lot of people. And when you start pumping out content, obviously they start like creating traffic and views. But I think when you're a content creator, the idea of quality over quantity kind of goes out the window unless your quality is the highest possible, right? Yeah. Like the YouTuber who makes a video a day and just pumps something out makes a lot more money than the person who spends a lot of time editing a video and then it takes them like a week or even a month. You know, you guys have probably seen a YouTuber where like you love their fucking videos and they only upload like once every 2 weeks because their content is like highly edited or they care a lot about it, right? So yeah, that those types of things get way less money, right? Even if their views are like 2 million or something on that video, the guy who got like 100,000 every fucking 100,000 or 200,000 for every video he posted for 2 weeks, like, yeah, he's got more combined views and he's made more money. So yeah, when you have to care about those things, I think you start getting really muddied in where your loyalties lie, and your loyalties lie to the clicks, because that's how you make money.
It's easy to get trapped into I need to make my video for this schedule as well. Like if you get into the schedule, you're like, oh no, wait, I need a topic. Okay, let's do this. Let's just do this. Like you were saying, you just start like making stuff. You just pull stuff out of your ass out of nowhere, and it is really easy to jump into that thing. It's kind of like why at one point on my channel I said, nope, guys, I've had enough. No more stupid thumbnails. No more like guides and like that people don't need or stupid clickbait stuff. And then I launched a Patreon, and thankfully there were enough people who support the Patreon that I don't have to worry about if the YouTube video goes downhill. Like I get 5,000 less views, it doesn't matter because I got a Patreon behind me.
I actually noticed that about your channel. Is I was like, when you made like clickbaity titles, I'm actually going to go to your channel right now.
Oh, no.
Is when you made clickbaity titles, you ended up getting like a decent amount of views on things, but like your most popular videos are like the Jom Gabar is a trap, right?
Yeah.
Jom Gabar is a trap, Why Dark Mantle, Rogue Rotation Guide, UI add-on, Naxxramus Loot Prio. So you have rotation, loot, a video on stats that's a fucking hour long because people want to know about those things, I guess, going into that phase. And then you had like one where it was like, I think you did like a Rogue 2K DPS Veil Lip Opener guide, right? Yeah. Which is like obviously a really good tip for the time. And then I think you tried to recreate that with like different parses, and you were like, how to get a 99 on like twin amps or like and they're not gonna like, it's not gonna happen, right? It's a very specific thing where like it's lip opening. Getting a 99 parse on something is not a huge deal, right? And then I was like, your guides, the ones that you make out of passion, are always going to be the ones that get the most because you've done the most research into them and you care about them the most. Not that you like don't do research into your other topics, but it's one that you go above and beyond for, and people really feel like it's helpful and this is like really cool. Yeah, and I think that the podcast does really fucking poorly. So no.
Well, that's the trickiest thing about the podcast is that our viewership grows, but on Spotify more than because it's such a long format thing that like people don't really sit there for 3 hours doing watching the video. I do know how to grow the podcast, but it will involve I got to get a highlights channel out. I got to get a highlights. That's how podcasts grow, is they get the highlights channel out to boost the views and such. But it's interesting. Yeah. Like it's interesting all the like the different things you can do for the algorithm and such. But at some point, I don't know. At some point, I was just so sick of like the stupid thumbnails and such. I was like, I'm not doing any more stupid thumbnails. Like all my thumbnails now are literally just like black and white with a rogue and a title, and that's it.
Thumbnails do matter, you know. Even if it's like a stupid thumbnail, thumbnails matter. Did you see Peyo's most recent thumbnail? I'm sure you saw Peyo's most recent thumbnail.
What's he doing now?
Can we zoom in a little bit, enhance it? No.
Oh, wait, this isn't hate or anything from either of us. Well, both of us think this is hilarious.
Love it.
Yeah, this is hilarious.
I fucking love it. Yeah. I fucking love it, dude.
But,
it's great.
Yeah, that's the thing about thumbnails. Thumbnails, titles, both of those are such a big thing. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't minded since I went to Patreon. I don't know. It's weird. I've got like my own niche now where people appreciate that I don't clickbait thumbnails and titles. So that's why they subscribe to the Patreon. It's kind of like a weird anti-clickbait thing we have going on. But yeah.
And if you actually like, you know, pay attention to your Patreon and like give them things, etc., then like, yeah, that's the thing that like it's going to help out a lot with the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially like when people ask me, because I've had messages from other people who messaged me like, hey man, are you worried about all this Blizzard stuff? Because this is like, it's like your main income source. Are you worried that the game's going to take a big hit? And for me, it was like, yeah, I'm worried, but I also have a lot more Patreon subscribers than the average like YouTuber and such. I think, almost 400 and almost 420 guys, speaking of which. But yeah, and that brings me like full-time income from there, so like I don't have to worry about the other stuff as much.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we covered some happy stuff with the Peyo and Zayu arena adventures. Time for the sighing content. The Blizzard topic. I don't know where to start with this. Jesus, this was one of those things, honestly, Zirene, where I heard the headline and then I was like, okay, I'll look into this. Is this just like a disgruntled employee or just like a he said she said situation, or like what is this? And then I started reading into it and I was like, oh god, this is really bad. And then it got worse and worse the more I read into it. And then like when I read it wasn't just a random person as well. It was like who was it? It was like a government body coming at them. Yeah, the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing.
DFEH, yeah. DFEH.
For a 2-year investigation. I was like, oh Jesus, this is like really serious and really bad. So
it's
I don't even know how to start this, but I guess I can introduce it basically for people that don't know. I don't know people who haven't heard about this yet, but the basic outline is that Blizzard's getting sued because they're promoting a unfriendly workspace environment. It's called, the headlines are all frat boy culture, inequality for women in the workplace, sexual harassment, which goes into a very deep hole down that one. But yeah, Zirene, what are your initial thoughts? Because it got pretty bad. We'll cover it in a little bit more depth, but yeah, even went as far as a female employee committing suicide after a business trip, and really inappropriate things like supervisors bringing butt plugs and lubricants on trips with them. And
okay, so here's the fucking thing. Okay, here's the thing is
and we have to say allegedly, because all of this is obviously allegedly.
I'm sitting here going, okay, this is really tragic, and like, why the fuck you got a kink shame right now? Like, they're like, and he had butt plugs and lubricant with him, and I'm like, okay, like, I brought shit on like business trips too. When I went to like fucking like Vancouver and like, you know, saw my girlfriend at the time. Yeah, I got a fucking leash in my carry-on, dude. Like, what? Come on, that shit. I'm like, you go on business trips, you see your girl or whatever. Yeah, you might have something freaky in the suitcase. Okay, like I don't know why it's like people are like, oh, he had a butt plug. Oh my god, You had lubricant. I'm like, okay, that just seemed like a superfluous detail. Where I was like, that's irrelevant and just to shock, right? And it's written in a way sometimes that when I was looking at the things that are written, some of it is written definitely in a way to shock. Now I think this is fucking terrible. Like, I just want to say, I went over the entire thing and read the actual like court document or document that was submitted, and there's a lot of shit in there that is very damning. And I felt like maybe I'm a little bit of an outlier here because I've worked in the gaming industry, and I sat there and went, damn. I was reading through these things and I was like, motherfucker, like, come on, guys. Really? Like, over and over again. And it felt like a lot of people's reaction was like way worse than mine. They were like way more surprised, and it felt like, it felt like they were watching Two Girls One Cup for the first time, and I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, this video again. Like they're just like, oh my god, what the fuck's going on? And I'm sitting there going like, yeah. I was raised on the internet. You want to watch Pain Olympics next? Like that I'm just sitting there saying that shit, and that's what it felt like here. Is I was just like, this is just too fucking commonplace, just in the world, right? This is shit that happens in the world all the time. It's not just exclusive to like video game companies, but here it's like really egregious because video game companies are very uncorporate or very lax, where people don't understand the difference between themselves and like somebody underneath them, a subordinate. You're just like, oh, I'm just I'm just me. I'm just a guy who loves playing video games. I got promoted and I'm in charge of you, but we're still friends. And like a lot of people are like friends with each other that are like, you wouldn't normally be friends with that position. Back and forth kind of thing, where it's like, it's not like, it's hard to be somebody in a lot of workplaces. You shouldn't be friends with certain people, right? Like the actual friends with like your boss, or actual friends with your boss's boss, things like that. It becomes a little bit more muddied where everybody's just hanging out all the time. And so this here, I think there's two things. One, a lot of it is really fucking just disgusting, outright just really disgusting. Like the whole cube crawl. So for me, the cube crawl is like, oh, these guys would come in drunk, and then they would go between cubicle to cubicle of different women and flirt with them. And it's the cube crawl. And I'm like sitting there going, okay, so when you read this, you go, man, that's really fucked up that these guys had this thing called the cube crawl that they fucking did. They were like, hey, Snow, you want to go do the cube crawl? Like, no. I bet you that was a term that the people being harassed came up with because they're just like, is this a fucking cube crawl? Like, what the fuck's going on? Right. And it's not these guys probably don't even fucking realize how they come off. Right. And they're just being really socially awkward. And that's the thing, is combining socially awkward people. So socially awkward guys in a workspace with girls is a fucking recipe for disaster, because they're not going to understand social cues. They're going to fucking push too hard. They're going to do stupid shit. And especially, God damn it, especially when you're socially awkward and you get power, that's what really is like really bad. Is a recipe for fucking disaster, dude. It's why we see so many things where, there's so many things where it's like a popular YouTuber is now like predatory, right, towards a fan. It's because somebody who's socially awkward, who's on the computer all the fucking time, doesn't get that much interaction, and now they have power, and somebody idolizes them. It's like they just don't know how to handle themselves, right? They don't know how to respect other people when they're around them. It's like, it's just really fucking disgusting.
Yeah. So
the thing is I don't doubt a lot of this. It's really funny because remember that leaked document where people were saying like, oh, it's fake because of the language. I was like, no, it's real because of the language, in my opinion, because that's how people talk. And then you read this and it's how people talk in the fucking game industry. There's all this shit.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I was talking to my chat like yesterday, where I was saying them like, man, remember when Zirene was saying this, how they talk, and like I've had comments on the last YouTube video now where they're like, oh, this last talk on the podcast now has a different light now that this stuff has come out on top of it, where they're like, oh yeah, so these are what game developers are like in the industry.
We're literally fucking people, dude. Like, fucking pull back the curtain, and it's literally a dude that's the Wizard of Oz, just like everybody else, right? And he's just pulling levers. You know, he just got the machine. That's all. That's all these guys are. It's all game designers are. They're just fucking. They're you. Hopefully, you don't do this shit. And they just have more power, or they have a job or a position, etc. Right? That's it.
It's kind of just mind-boggling how it gets this bad.
Yeah. There was one thing I wanted to add on top of this, though, is like I don't want people to fucking confuse this. Don't mince this. Where because I'm saying this, I don't want you to think I'm discrediting, discounting, or pushing back on any of these fucking things that are in this article. I just want to fucking say that straight up, right? I respect these people, and that is their reality, that these things happen to them, right? But the reality of a lot of people who are going to be on the side of being the defendants here, they're going to be living a different reality. And that's what always happens with these fucking things, is they're just like, oh, no, this person was chill with it. Or like, we used to go out. Or I thought that when I invited her to lunch, it was a date, right? Like, there's going to be those types of things where somebody got the wrong ideas, somebody thought something else, right? And that's why things fucking go to court. But there's also shit on top of that where when I see there's words in here where I'm like, do you know what that means? Where was it? It was engaged in sexual banter. Engaged in sexual banter. What do you think is an example of sexual banter?
I mean, that's such a wide term, right?
Yeah, but sexual banter. Do you think that's something where somebody's like, oh, who's a big boy, and it's like, shut the fuck up, like, you know, shit like that, or like whatever, if they're flirting. But like, sexual banter is literally saying killing somebody in game and then going, woo, suck my dick. That's sexual banter. Telling someone to suck your dick is sexual banter. Telling them to suck your fucking dick after you beat them is sexual banter, right? Telling someone to get fucked, you're telling them to get molested, right? It's stuff like that. I can tell you straight up, there was a guy at work. This guy's, I think it's his first week or first day at Riot. It was like a Friday. We were all in like, it was like a day off, or like a day before. It was basically a weekend, I guess, right? So we're all in the fucking. Okay, let me start it again. So there was a guy who was starting his first week or first day at Riot in esports, and he was in a higher position, right? He's hired into like, you know, a more like manager like position. And we were doing an ARAM, and it was, you know, like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. We're all in the PC bong. It's a bunch of esports guys. He's on the other team. He's Malzahar. He ulties me in ARAM. And then when I die, he goes, woo, I just made Zirene my bitch. And I don't know this guy. I'm like, who is this? Right? And then the thing is like all the other managers, like, you know, even my boss, shit like that, were like, oh, like everybody's just like, damn, like that type of thing, right? And I was like, okay, I don't know who this guy is. And then I proceeded to sell all my items on Sejuani and build full AP, and then just ulti him every single time. Like, and then after the game, he came up to me and he said, sorry about that. I realized later that I probably shouldn't have, you know, called the diamond player in the game my bitch. So I hope there's no hard feelings.
For calling you my bitch.
Yeah, because he knew who I was, because he had like watched LCS or something, and now he's like got his job and like all that. And I actually like the guy, right? I think he's actually a really good dude. But it's things like that where people have a lot of gamers have vernacular or say things daily that just will not fly in a gaming space, like, or in a workplace, right? Like, there's a lot of things here where people openly joke about rape, right? Which is obviously not okay. But terms change, right? Times change, terms change, and if people don't update with them, then you're fucked. right? I think I talked about this at one point where like, my grandma said the N-word one time and I was like, grandma, what the fuck? Like, but that was okay back in her time. Okay, right? And like me saying, well, it's like people grew up on Xbox Live and like 15 years ago, people would say stuff like, dude, that's so gay. Like, dude, that was gay. Like, meaning like that was like terrible to play against, or that was bad, or like cheesy, or whatever. Like making gay synonymous with stupid, right, was fucked up. And that's the thing that I thought was like, people, you have to get with the times when things update, because you'll say stuff that's really fucking stupid. People said like the F word, I don't like to say FAGGOT, right, all the time on Xbox Live and games like that, and they would say like, oh, get raped, all that type of stuff. And that shit became not fucking cool. And this actually like affected Reckful, because Reckful casted for Blizzard, and he actually got banned from casting with Blizzard because he had said raped on broadcast, right? They banned him, and he was no longer like allowed to even like cast Hearthstone or anything like that. So never invited again. And this is something where I'm just like, people saying raped in a workplace for when there's video games, I don't doubt that somebody probably said some shit like that very like pretty commonly 5-10 years ago, right? I'm like, I think I said this where like my boss would say retarded, right? My boss would say the word retarded. And as soon as we say that's not okay to say, and that's like, making fun of people with like a mental disability, then it's like, well, that person's now fucked, right? And it's like when retarded wasn't okay, people started saying, "Oh, you're being autistic. Oh, he's got full on autism, or he's being autistic, right?" And now that wasn't okay, so people say Spurg, and Spurg is short for Asperger's, which is on the autism spectrum. And people have just updated the term to be, when you say somebody's being a Spurg, right? You typically mean they're being retarded or that they're being autistic, and that shit is the stuff that. Now it's okay to say Spurg, but it's not okay to say all those other things, right? Words and language adapt to times. So like I'm saying, I'm not trying to discount anybody's thing here, but I'm saying like the way this is worded, I'm like, the reality of people who are being inappropriate typically don't realize that they're being inappropriate. Because if you realize you're being inappropriate, you go, probably shouldn't do that. You don't go over to Cheryl's desk and then go like, hey, Cheryl, actually, you know what? Never mind. That'd be inappropriate. No, they don't realize what they're doing is inappropriate. And that's the problem, right? And the problem here is that you're trying to tackle the workplace culture has not dissuaded people or told people enough that is not okay. And when people are inappropriate, it seems like no action is taken. That's the main thing I want people to take away from this, right? Is that it's being reported that it's not a culture of anti-harassment. Right. It's no longer enough to be a culture that like doesn't foster harassment. You have to be anti-harassment now. Right. You have to be completely against it and make sure that it's like a comfort place. So yeah. I think that this shift is very, very jarring for gaming companies and some gamers in general, because it feels corporate, but it really isn't, in my opinion. It's just being a good human being. But yeah, people who are being inappropriate don't always realize that they're being inappropriate. If they did, then they probably wouldn't do it, right?
Yeah, and just to clarify again, because some people I see chat is going crazy, as I expect, because it's a very controversial, like back and forth kind of thing.
Oh yeah, for
is
sure.
that Zirene's not excusing any of this stuff. He's just kind of explaining how you get there. Like what
100%.
leads up to this sort of behavior. We're not saying like it doesn't get really bad, and trust me, we're gonna cover like where it gets really bad in a second. But he's kind of explaining like this is the beginning, this is how it starts, and this is how it progresses onto like the more serious things that we're gonna go into next.
Yeah.
So
I think that like obviously it's inexcusable, but I'm not. This is a fine line that I want to draw. I'm not excusing things. I'm giving you an explanation for them, most likely an explanation, right? I'm not justifying or excusing, right? I'm giving you the reason, right? Most likely the reason. So that's the thing that I'm just like, it's not a pass, right? It's like when this is the thing that I think a lot of people get fucked up over, even in just basic arguments, is where somebody says like, oh, when you did this, it like really hurt me. And the person replies with, oh, I did that because I thought this, right? And if the person who said that they were hurt takes that as them trying to justify their actions instead of explain the reason why, which is systemic, which is how you actually treat something, which is like, oh, it was a misunderstanding and this is what I misunderstood. That's how you actually work on things, is getting both sides to understand what the fuck was happening, right?
Yeah,
what was actually happening.
I mean, sometimes like if the boss doesn't like address it or people don't mention it, it just continues. Like I remember, like even not at Blizzard, even back in my early days, I used to work at Australia's equivalent of like a Best Buy, and my boss would make jokes like because it's all mostly guys there. It's all mostly guys there, and there were some like sexual banter kind of jokes being made at the time, and one time early on, and when I just started working there, he took me aside. He was like, "Hey man, I hope it's okay that I make these kinds of jokes. Like it doesn't make you uncomfortable. If it does, just let me know." And like up to that point, it didn't even click in my head that like, oh yeah, the jokes he's making might not be super like appropriate. Depending on who he's talking to and like what the situation is as well, or in the workplace in general. And it takes like recognizing that these things aren't okay at some point in time.
Yeah, I just want to address chat for a second. Somebody said the focus of the problem isn't that someone said something inappropriate. It's a huge issue that the company did nothing to fix it or improve the culture when reported. Yeah. So it's an issue. It's two issues. It's an issue that it's happening, and it's an issue that the company literally it's happening under their watch, right? And they aren't doing anything about it, or they aren't making it so that they're punishing people who do that to dissuade others in the future, right? And to actually change the culture or to help people with sensitivity training and like fucking understanding each other. And yeah, it's a multifaceted issue. That's why this is such a big problem. And then Big Papa says, I don't think that tracks. So he's essentially saying that saying "suck my dick" when in game evolved into saying similar things to women outside of the game. No, I'm saying that's what some of these things here, like when you read something that says what was it? There's a part of it that said a nude. The woman who committed suicide, her nudes had been passed around at a holiday party earlier, right? Passed around at a holiday party. When you first hear that, my reaction was like, I just imagined a bunch of fucking people at a holiday party getting handed like a flyer of somebody's nude. When in reality, what probably happened is it's probably like four guys in a corner, one of them saying they had a nude and showing the other three, right? That's passing around a nude at a party. It didn't circulate through the entire fucking party, but that's the two extremes, right? What really happened lies somewhere in the middle, but keep in mind that all of it's equally bad, but like, it's kind of like just, you have to understand the extent of what these things are and how this happens every fucking day, right? This stuff is bad. And you like it will appear, I guess, let me see. It will appear minor, but it is really fucking bad because this shit happens all the time, every day, not even just in gaming. This just happens all the time, right? When somebody shows their friend a fucking nude, they're passing a nude around, right? It's ridiculous. And when somebody says something like "suck my dick," that is sexual banter, right? That's the thing is I'm basically trying to inform you guys that there are probably things that you do that may fall under a category in here, right? Or something that you may have done at some point that falls in a category here, right? So, and also the perception of some of the people and what's happening to them. Then later on, there's a talk of like, there's these African American women. There's, I believe, two cases where they believe they're being discriminated against. And those are fucking really hard cases to prove. That's the thing that I think is really fucked here, is it's always very hard to prove that you're discriminated against for a specific reason, because California is an at-will employer. They can fire you and you can quit at any time for any reason, as long as it's not a protected group reason, right? Whether it's not like they can't fire you for, I believe, your sex, your sexual orientation, your disability, religion, I think, is also a protected one. Yeah, and ethnicity, right? They can't fire. I don't think they can fire you for any of those reasons. And the thing is somebody could actually hate you because you're black, fire you or like treat you differently for it. But if they ever go to court, they're going to be like, no, their work ethic was bad, right?
Yeah.
And it's so fucking hard to prove unless the person's like caught in 4K sending a message saying, I don't like this person because they're black. It's so hard to stick it to them, right? But these things happen all the fucking time. And here's the other thing too, is sometimes those things are done by managers who don't realize why they're doing it, right? It's like one of the cases somebody asked what was like asking whether African American female workers to like tell them in an email when they wanted like time off what they were going to do, right? And it's like nobody else had to do that. So like very specific and like targeted, and it felt micromanaged. And this might be something that the manager doesn't even fucking realize, because the manager's not going to sit there and go like, I'm going to make this person's life a living hell because they're African American or a woman. No, it's probably something that fucking person grew up with, where they had experiences where they maybe then like adjusted in their brain and went, yeah, I feel like, you know, the people I've worked with who have been African American, I feel like maybe they've been a little lazy, right? Or I worked with an African American woman, she was late all the time, or she was making excuses all the time, and then you just apply it to other people, right? And you don't even realize you're fucking doing it. It's just something that you've been trained to do, and that's why people have to be so fucking conscious of those things, because you have unconscious bias, and that is where the racism comes from. A lot of people aren't blatantly racist anymore, right? Like a lot of people like that shit gets snuffed out real fast, but people don't realize like microaggressions and how those things come about. So there's just so much here that I want to like draw attention to from people, in terms of these things when they're written down seem really fucking huge, and people go, oh, that's really disgusting. And I'm like, I see this shit happen all the fucking time, because a lot of people, like maybe even like yourself included, have a habit or have said something or done something that would fall under one of these categories at some point, right? So I just want people to be aware of that this is shit that like you also need to work on, because that's what I think this is a wake-up call, and it should be a wake-up call. And I think that the suffering that these people have gone through should be a wake-up call to a lot of people, right? That's the thing, is whenever I suffer, I'm like, it's worth it if people like get something out of it, right? I don't typically need like revenge or anything, but if people can like learn from my lesson or my mistreatment, then I'm like, okay, you know, it's worth something. The suffering was worth it. So I think people should take this as a lesson to improve, to be more conscious, and to understand, and also take, especially when you're in a leadership position, take that extra step to be communicative with people. There's a lot in there, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, there's so much to unpack here. I mean, even the fact that Alex Führer, or Alex Afri, I never know how to say his last name, Afrasiabi, I think it is named as one of the
Afrasiabi, yeah,
main defendants here. And we again, we have to say alleged, because you know everyone has their day in court and such. But it looks pretty bad. It looks the optics. It just looks really bad. And again, guys, Zirene's not like necessarily comparing like minor banter talk to like the death of someone who committed suicide and such. He's just saying like these things happen, and they happen in minor cases and major cases as well.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is the extreme is the thing that people are going to point at, but I think the extreme is only a part of this, and the reason this is coming up is because it's been such a systemic issue that people have just been living with it, right? It's the whole thing where like when the guy in the PC bong yelled, I just made Zirene my bitch, and all my managers went, oh, it wasn't a culture where somebody would dissuade that, because people don't like being a fucking buzzkill or like to be like the HR person, right? People don't like to do that, especially publicly. They'll pull the person aside later, right? But if you saw like your managers fucking having a time and then calling you a bitch, right? Or saying that somebody made you their bitch, and then like your boss is laughing at that, it's like, when I phrase it like that, sounds fucking worse than like the actual situation, or how I took it, I guess, right? Because framing the situation, contextualizing it is very important. And so it really matters. But the problem is when you look at things on paper, the context is typically lost, right? So I could take anything that you've said and then put it on paper, and then so it's like what? It's like somebody says like, "Oh, suck my dick," right? And it's like, suck my dick, right? And then I take you to court, and then it's like, well, you engage in sexual banter. It's like, no, I never engaged in sexual banter. It's like, well, did you ever say suck my dick? And it's like, yes. You like if you're asking yes or no questions, like, yeah. It's like, so is sucking a dick sexual? It's like, yes. Obviously, it's like, okay, so now, so you agree that telling someone to suck your dick is sexual and banter. So it's like, I guess technically you got me there, and it's like, yeah, that is correct. So basically, just be very aware of things that you do and things that you say, because I want people to like not do this shit. And notice I haven't like I haven't said anything like people are taking things too hard or anything like that, because obviously this is not on the victims. This is on the people who say that shit, right? And I'm just trying to address people who may not realize that they are being inappropriate.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of times when it's really easy, especially like you said, language changes and such. Like, and I mentioned in a podcast before where like in the past I've used the term spec, but that's and then I didn't know about the context of this comes from Asperger's and like autism and your base. And then once I understood the context of what I was saying, I was like, okay, maybe I don't want to say that anymore because I don't want to make anyone in my chat feel bad if they have Asperger's or like along those lines. And the funny thing is, like, I even probably I've always wondered whether I have undiagnosed like minor Tourette's or something, because
oh really?
Yeah, for the longest time when and it still happens from time to time where like sometimes when I'm sleeping, I need like I'll be like, oh, I gotta stretch my shoulder out and then we can go to sleep, and then I'll stretch it. I'm like, I didn't quite get that right, so I literally like move my arm and try to stretch it for like 30 minutes until my wife will be like, what are you doing? Just go to sleep. I'm like, now my arm's gonna be in the perfect position and then I can sleep. And now I was reading about that, I was like, oh, that's actually like a minor symptom of like Tourette's, like a minor version apparently, and things like that. It's a spectrum. It's an interesting, I mean, the most interesting thing, like this is going off on a tangent, but the most interesting about autism and such is that it is a spectrum. So like some people have like serious versions, some people have like minor versions that come into their things. It's just how it is with those things.
Yeah. And GBB is saying like, right, we also have to acknowledge that isn't necessarily what happened when it comes to like, somebody saying suck my dick. Yeah, it could have been somebody going, hey, Cheryl, nice fucking titties, right? Like somebody could have said something like that. And that's obviously wrong. I'm trying to draw attention to the things that are wrong, but people don't necessarily think they're wrong. And they're the people who are going to like argue back about things, right? Like when somebody says, I was talking about this the other day where, and somebody just mentioned it here, where it's like, people are going to look back in 5 years and be like, hey, how did people think that saying Spurg was okay? It literally just means Asperger's. Like, what the fuck? Like, how do people think that was okay? Right? I think that that's important, because when people even say in a video game, and I know necessarily that fucked sometimes means like destroyed or wrecked or something like that. But when somebody says get fucked, like, what do you tell? You're telling them to get molested or get raped, right? That guy got fucked, right? Who knows? In like 5 years, getting fucked is going to be something that people are going to be not cool with, right? But I'm just saying, fucking one, watch yourself, right? Just monitor yourself, especially if you're in your leadership position. Because if you're in a leadership position, it is different when you laugh at somebody saying that I'm a bitch, and if you're just my friend laughing at that. My friend laughs at that, that's fine. If my boss, who's in charge of my job, laughs at that, I'd be like, damn, does my boss think I'm a fucking bitch, or that's funny to make fun of me, right? It's stuff like that, right? Yeah. So I think that's really important. I think there's a time where I was really worried because I thought I had pressured this one girl into getting to second base. And she told me later that she was like nervous because, and when people say pressured, it's like, you just say like, even if somebody says, oh, come on, or something like that, just one time, or are you sure? Right? That could be seen as pressuring. And especially because I'm Zirene and an LCS caster, she was like, yeah, I probably went a little further. She's like, I probably went a little further, as in she would probably let me go a little further than she was comfortable with because of the fact that she didn't want to tell me no because I was Zirene, right? So she didn't tell me no, but because I asked a second time, she felt pressured, even if I wasn't like, oh, come on, blah, 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 like, or like, oh, you're going to like it. I was literally like, are you sure? Like that type of thing, right? And obviously I actually found it. I felt that she was uncomfortable, so I stopped, right? Because I was able to pick up on that stuff because I'm very worried about those types of things. I'm very worried about making somebody uncomfortable in like a sexual manner, right? I just don't enjoy that for myself at that point. So when it comes to things like that, like be very aware of those types of things. And also if you're in a leadership position or because at that point, I'm not like just another guy that she's going on a date with. I'm a guy in esports in a position with like 100,000 Twitter followers or something that she looks up to and admires. I have way more power in that situation than I realize. And you have to be able to check your own shit, right? You have to realize that how people view you and how hard it might be. It's like, tell them no. Because I had a situation with my boss where my boss was doing something that was inappropriate and I didn't know what to do because I was just like, this is my boss. Am I allowed to say fucking like stop or no? Like, what am I supposed to do? So yeah, it's jarring, especially when you're a new employee, right? So yeah. Be very, very careful. And also here's the biggest thing is if you see something, say something, right? Nobody likes to be the buzzkill, right? Nobody likes to be the buzzkill, right? But at the same time, you need to at the same time realize that it's very important to say something to them, right? Like, hey, that wasn't cool. And it's also way easier to do that than it is to be the person who's being called a bitch and being like, hey, I don't think it's really cool if you guys call me a bitch, right? It's like, oh, he's being a little bitch. But somebody else says, guys, it's not cool calling somebody a bitch, especially in the workplace. Chill out a little bit, all right? Just keep it down a little, right?
Yeah. What do you think it is about the gaming workspace in particular that makes it like so commonplace more so than other places? Like someone just said in the chat that if you're saying get fucked at work, you should probably avoid doing that.
Yeah.
Which
but the thing is the lines are blurred at work. You're playing fucking League with your you're playing League, you're playing WoW with your coworkers during hours, after hours, right? You're playing an ARAM during lunch, right? Still on the clock, technically.
I mean, it gets pretty bad as well when you go into the unpack the whole Alex FFXIV stuff with the Crosby suit, with the allegations there, where he was constantly sexually harassing people to the point where some other employees were calling his suite the Cosby suite after Bill Cosby. And Blizzard did make a post about this as well. They made a response, but the response was just standard corporate speak. If I have it here somewhere. Where would I have the?
I think they mean Cosby as well.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Cosby. Right? Yeah.
No. They put Crosby.
Crosby.
they put Crosby in it.
Oh, did they?
Some people. Yeah.
They did. Oh, okay.
They put Crosby, even though they mean Cosby.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. I'm just they just wrote that wrong, and I just read it. Okay, good. Yep. Oh yeah. See, so Blizzard put out the statement, but I don't even know what could this statement have been.
This is a fucked up statement in return.
Like I don't understand.
I actually think this is really bad. This is really bad, right? This is them trying to turn. This is them trying to like fucking flip a reverse Uno card and say you guys said you were going to investigate us. Like literally in the middle of it, they say you guys said you were going to investigate us. And then I thought we had an agreement in good faith that you would tell us about anything you were going to report so we could fix it before it reached court. Right? That's what they're saying. They're like, and they didn't do that. They're basically trying to make the DFEH look like the DFEH told them, we're going to investigate you. And then we're just going to let you know if we find anything. Right? And then what happened, and Blizzard's like, okay, they'll tell us if anything's wrong. And then DFEH went, okay, here's the court case. And they're like, wait, what are you fucking talking about? What is this? So yeah, that's what happened. Right. And the middle of it, I really, really fucking hate this here where we are sickened by the reprehensible conduct of the DFEH to drag into the complaint the tragic suicide of an employee whose passing has no bearing whatsoever on this case and with no regard for her grieving family. While we find this behavior to be disgraceful and unprofessional, it is unfortunately an example of how they have conducted themselves throughout the course of their investigation. It is this type of irresponsible behavior from unaccountable state bureaucrats that are driving many of the state's best businesses out of California. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? You literally fucking what you did is you're like they included irrelevant details as something that had nothing to do with this case. By the way, here's an ad hominem attack and irrelevant fucking things. I was like, what did you just do? What did you just do? Oh my god.
Like, I could only imagine how angry it would make me feel if I was the family and I was hearing this. I'd be like, what? You're trying to turn the suicide into like someone else's, like the entire thing doesn't make any sense here. I feel like this is one of the things where they would have been better just not saying anything than putting this out.
Yeah.
Like, I understand they can't say anything bad that would make the court case worse, but this is kind of like the complete 180 where they're like, we're so good that like, yeah, this isn't our fault and this is actually their fault that all of this stuff happened.
Well, basically what they're saying is the DFEH has old and inaccurate info. It's like they're reporting on things from over 2 years ago or 2 years ago, right? Where it's like, we've already taken care of that, right? That's basically what they're saying is like, we've already taken care of that. That's not the Blizzard of today. And they told us that they were going to let us know if they found anything, and they didn't, right? And so we feel backstabbed. Like, this is the saltiest apology or attempt at misdirection I've ever seen to allegations of harassment. If you you literally got accused of having a frat boy culture, and you reply with this. It is this type of irresponsible behavior from unaccountable state bureaucrats that are driving away many of the state's businesses best business out of California. It's like you're being accused of being a frat boy, and you're literally going like, man, nobody fucking likes you anyway, dude. Like, like my dad owns a dealership, and nobody fucking likes you, dude. Like,
my dad owns a dealership.
God. But they did have an email. Activision had an email go out today or yesterday that is a lot better than this. This is from Rob Kostic, who's Activision's president.
Team, some of you may have seen the allegations reported. Allegations reported by the Department of Fair Employment and Housing in California. These allegations are deeply disturbing. Let me be clear, there's zero tolerance for this type of behavior in our workplace and frankly in our society. We as a company take every allegation seriously and investigate all claims. When wrongdoing is found, those responsible are held accountable, and we will continue to do so. Each of you deserves to be treated with dignity, equality, and respect at all times. Okay, so they're basically kind of doing the statement they should have done before.
This is an internal company email, and not the not the great shit that we ended up getting as the public response.
I mean, they didn't even bring the government into it and blame the government for irresponsible behavior. God, I don't know how they make that leap. Like, I don't understand like why. Well, I mean, I understand why they put that last statement in there, but it's just so dumb. It is this type of irresponsible behavior from unacceptable state bureaucrats. It's just like you said, such irrelevant, just miscellaneous stuff.
It's salty.
Just like, why is this in here? Like, why is this in a statement?
Yo, remember when people said that the leak isn't real because of the language? I'm just kidding, dude. Holy shit. But
yeah,
man.
I mean, I don't know what else we can really cover here on this. It's just really bad. And like there has been the thing is, for people that know Blizzard employees, it's not a shock. Stuff like this has come up from time to time from past Blizzard employees talking about this sort of stuff, which is why it makes it even more believable on the outside, even though all of this is alleged. But But yeah, employees have been talking about this for a while. It's just that only now it's become a big court case.
I'm reading another email, 2 more emails that had gone out. There's this one, which is from apparently J. Allen Brack, is Blizzard president.
Where are you getting these from? Did these leak on?
Yeah, there's like a Twitter, Jason Schreier.
Personally, have a lot of emotions coming out yesterday. I know you do too. The allegations in the herd of current and former employees are extremely troubling. Okay, so this is similar to like the last one.
Then there was this email that apparently went out from Activision Blizzard executive Fran Townsend, who was the Homeland Security advisor to George W. Bush from 2004 to 2007 and joined Activision in March. And apparently this email has a lot of Blizzard employees fuming, and I can imagine why. Right.
Okay, so what does this one say? I know this has been difficult for many of us. A recently filed lawsuit presented a distorted and untrue picture of our company, including factually incorrect, old, and out of context stories, some from more than a decade ago. The Activision companies of today, the Activision companies that I know, are great companies with good values. When I joined the executive leadership team, I was certain that I was joining a company where I would be valued, treated with respect, and provided opportunities equal to those afforded to the men of the company. For me, this has been true during my time. As a leader, I am committed to making sure that the experience I have is the same as the rest of the organization. We have a leadership team that is committed to these principles in every way. I'm proud to be part of a company that takes a hardline approach to inappropriate or hostile work environments and sexual harassment issues. Our Speak Up campaign reinforces our zero tolerance for retaliation against those who do speak up. We've made significant investments to foster inclusive behaviors and to reflect greater diversity within our leadership teams, including, it goes on to say, investing in and strengthening our DE&I employee networks. I don't know what that means. Creating global networks to bring together the efforts in all of our business units and introducing of executive sponsors. Introducing, what is this?
I know D&I is diversity and inclusion, but I don't know DE and I.
Yeah, I have no idea what that
means. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay.
Oh, okay. So you just add another.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Introducing learning and development programs, including inclusive hiring training, amplifying internal programs such as the Way to Play Heroes and the recurring Speak Up campaign, reinforcing channels for employees to report violations, including the ask list, introducing an employee relations team dedicated to investigating employee concerns, continuing to require all employees to take equality and diversity training, including anti-harassment training, and have done so for many years. We put tremendous effort into creating fair compensation policies that reflect our commitment to equal opportunity. We review compensation regularly and feel confident that we pay all employees fairly for equal or substantially similar work. We take proactive steps to ensure that pay and advancement are driven by merit. We reward performance, and we conduct extensive anti-discrimination trainings, including for those who are part of the compensation process. We work at a company that truly values equality and fairness. Rest assured that leadership is committed to continuing to maintain a safe, fair, and inclusive workplace. We cannot let egregious actions of others and a truly meritless and irresponsible lawsuit damage our culture of respect and equal opportunity for all employees. We aspire to our company to do great things in our games, in our impact to society, and in our work environment. We continue to hold firm to our principles and invest, as we have in the past, the resources to ensure quality opportunities for all employees. We remain committed as a leadership team to doing what is right. Fran. Signed off. Jesus. So this one is the PR one then.
So
I guess we know who wrote the other statement now.
They're in a really weird position as Blizzard, because they have allegations against them that are damaging their bottom line, because people will be like, I'm not going to buy anything from you or play your game until these are disproven, right? Like actually disproven.
Yeah.
So like people, as soon as this happens with like people who are accused of sexual harassment, right? As soon as somebody's accused of sexual harassment, they're giga ostracized, just like that, right?
Yeah.
Somebody could accuse me of sexual harassment, people don't want to associate with me. Like my friends will like stop talking to me because it's seen as being a sexual harasser apologist, right? So people don't want to associate with that. I personally don't like that because I feel like you are allowed to support everybody. Because, for example, if I was being accused of sexual harassment, the last thing I would want is for my friends to abandon me, right? So why would I abandon them, right? That type of thing. So I don't straight up abandon people, even if it like gets me stigma, because I would want the same for me. Granted, as soon as it's like, obvious, it turns out to be true, then, you sowed that. Like, I'm not denying the other person's side though, right? That's the thing is I think you can support somebody who's been accused of, sexual harassment and not be a sexual harassment apologist because you're allowed to support and believe both perspectives. From one person's perspective, they were sexually harassed. From the other person's perspective is misunderstanding and they didn't like socially understand, right? And I'm like, for me, I know how it affects those people. But at the same time, if I was sexually harassed myself, I would want people to support me. So it's kind of like, I'm just somebody who like, I feel like the supporting aspect is something that I'm more forgiving than almost anybody else that I know in those regards. Or I guess supportive, because I wouldn't want to be abandoned myself. Right. And that's the thing is I think supporting somebody doesn't mean like you're saying, oh, they are or they aren't, or the other party is wrong and whatever. You just support both.
Right. Like, I mean,
the thing I don't like here, the thing I don't like here about this is here they're in a weird spot because they're being accused. Their bottom line is being fucked a little bit, right? Because that's how society treats people who have sexual harassment lawsuits or accusations, is they get ostracized or you don't buy their product and shit, right? You detest it. You just completely shut it down. So it's affecting them and they need to take action. But there are victims within their company who are finally feeling heard. And then if you have been sexually harassed and you read this email, this would piss me the fuck off. This would piss me off reading this. If I had been sexually harassed or felt like I had been, not listened to, if I was one of the people who, is a plaintiff in the case, I would be fucking livid. I actually think like probably most women at Blizzard are fucking livid over this email because it's so like it's literally fucking like head in the sand. Yeah. Blizzard's just like, nope, never happened, didn't happen, and it old out of context stories. There's literally no apology in here. There's no like they just say factually incorrect, old and out of context stories, right? Some from more than a decade ago, but sometimes I mean the Blizzard can't admit, even in like an internal email, that some of these things happened and their culture has changed or those people have been fired, right? They can't admit that because they're under investigation or they're in a court case, and admitting that while you're being sued is fucking stupid, right? So they're in a tough spot where they're probably just going to make people internally fucking angry because they just need to look chest thumpy and be like, hey, we've always been this way. This is not we're being falsely accused type thing, right? Instead of apologizing. Because as soon as you apologize, people take it as you're admitting that you did things, right? Like if I was accused of sexual harassment and I didn't actually sexually harass somebody, but I'm a sensitive person and I say, I'm sorry if, this made you feel uncomfortable. It was not my intent or whatever. People are going to be like, oh, so you did do something, right? You're apologizing. It's like, no, I'm apologizing if that's how they felt. I'm not apologizing that I did those things, etc. Right? Because it like wasn't actually sexual harassment. It's that type of thing. Cause like you could apologize for like the person's perspective and how things played out for them. So because I obviously don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, but they can't do that here. Right. And it's going to make some of their employees fucking mad. It would make me really fucking mad.
Yeah. I mean, it comes off the same as like when they were deflecting with the whole suicide thing in the public one, like same sort of feeling where it's like, if you're the victim and you're reading this, it feels really bad.
Yeah, it's straight denial of harassment. Yeah, it's straight denial of harassment. But if you're a fucking company entity with a lawsuit, and what else? What's your other option? To admit everything and be like, some of this is true, some of this is not true. Don't want to set off the alarm here. We can't go into specifics, but we do want to say that we've learned as a company from this. If you guys have anything that has come up, etc., these are the lines in which you should use, right? But we have made mistakes. We have not been a perfect company, whatever. Like, you're just going to get thrown under the fucking sue bus at that point, right? It's like the thing that you would want to have happen if you were somebody who had been harassed. But at that point, a lawyer is telling you, don't talk to the police. Like, the lawyer is saying you don't have to talk to the police.
I mean, like, people in chat are also bringing up the whole the fact that it makes it extra bad on the optics, and I think this is something that Asmongold brought up, where like the Kill Thas voice actor and like the Swifty situation in the past, where Blizzard has come down really fast and really hard on people who haven't been proven to have done things. They've just been accused of things, and they're like instantly, nah, you're excommunicated, you're done, and they just cut you out of the game. They cut any NPCs they have of you out of the game, and meanwhile now this has happened to Blizzard, and it's like the shoe's on the other foot now, and now they want people to be understanding and then not jump to conclusions right away and such, even though it looks really, really bad and there's a lot of evidence on the contrary.
Here's the thing that happens with anything like that, right? So let's say I accuse Swifty of sexual harassment. 1 million people are going to see my statement accusing Swifty. If Swifty publishes his statement, maybe half of the people who read mine will read his, right? So only 500,000 people got the real information, and then there's 500,000 other people out there who will never see that, and because they don't care to, and they just read my headline of I was sexually harassed by Swifty, and there's 500,000 people out there who still think he's a sexual harasser, right? And haven't gotten the new information or the correct information. And so if you're a Blizzard or a company like that, you just go, okay, this is controversial now, just remove it, right? Because there's going to be 500,000 people who are like, why the fuck is this sexual harasser still in the fucking game? What the fuck? This is disgusting. And they're not going to go look up the real thing. Sure, that's their problem, but the company would be like, you know what? Just wash our hands of it. Not gonna even touch that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm telling you guys, like, me personally, maybe I'll get shit for this. I don't know. Maybe this is like a fucking controversial thing. But like, if my friend was accused of sexual harassment and I knew the person who was being harassed as well, I would just support both of them. I don't know if that feels like a betrayal to the person who was harassed. But I would support both of them until I got the facts, right? Because that's what I think those people need, right? Because it is hard to go through sexual harassment, right? It's also hard to be accused, right? It's harder, of course, to go through real fucking sexual harassment, but it's also like stressful to be accused. And I don't want to talk about like false like accusations, because I think people pay too much attention to like false accusations ruin people's lives and stuff like that, because it's a very small percentage. Whereas the ones that actually happen and don't get reported are like way more meaningful, impactful, and like way more commonplace. So yeah, well, yes, there are false accusations out there, right?
I mean, the big thing is about doing it the right way, right? Because we've seen in the past a lot of times on Twitch, if you ever browse, if anyone in the chat has browsed live stream fails from time to time, we've seen in the past where some sexual harassment has come out, and all that guy's particular friends might come out in support of him, but they might do it in the wrong way, where they're like putting down the accuser or just presenting in a very bad light, where they're like, oh, this other person's just like clout chasing or doing this or that, and that's like the wrong way to defend your friend.
Yeah,
and so that there's differences in the right way and the wrong way too, because you can still support the accuser and support your friend at the same time. I don't think they're mutually exclusive or anything like that.
Supporting one party does not mean you are denying the other, right? Or discounting the other. And be very careful when you support somebody, because if you support somebody, you go, oh, don't listen to that person, etc. Like that, that's not how you do it. Oh, that's not how you're supposed to do it.
Well, yeah, I think that's pretty much as much as we can really cover there and unpack.
Yeah,
it's a deep topic, but yeah.
Yeah, I had to see what the fuck happens, right?
Yeah, we have to see because we still don't know.
Hashtag canceled. Hey, if I get canceled for an opinion of like it's okay to support somebody who's been accused and also support the person who's accusing, like I'll fucking die on that cross because what the fuck, abandoning somebody who might need you in that moment more than ever, right? Seems a little fucked to me, but that's just me, you know. Once the accusations have been proven, or you're not good at it and make the fucking person who's been accused really uncomfortable because you're like discounting them, then yeah, at that point it's you're not doing it right. But yeah, I just think that's something where people take it as it's black and white, right? It's you're on this person's side or the other side. You have to pick sides, right? Yeah. I don't know. The people don't treat me kindly when I am trying to be a neutral party but supportive to both. Right?
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I have raid in like 20 minutes, so
yeah, we gotta speed this on. Okay, Rogue Hemo talk.
Yeah. So go ahead.
This is a tricky thing to cover because there's a lot of misinformation in how people are understanding what is being presented as well. And for the record, like I know Cyber Dies as well. Like we don't like hate each other or anything like that. He's a fellow Rogue content creator, so like don't take anything I say as if I'm attacking him or anything like that. So this is a new thing that's coming out. So there's a Rogue Hemo spec. Let me see if I can pull it up. So this is the Rogue Hemo spec. This as people in the chat who aren't rogues might be saying this is copium or whatever potentially, but
I would change the spec honestly.
This is a spec being presented. Is basically the rogue goes the normal combat spec, but instead of going improve exposed armor, they swap all those talents around to the opposite tree and subtlety, and they go hemo instead. Now, there's some misunderstanding here. It's basically Simonizes video, which is the original where the source comes from. He's one of the rogue.
I love his hat, dude.
Yeah, he likes his hats. He takes big influence from Team Fortress 2, clearly. He is presenting it as an alternative to exposed armor, but what a lot of people are getting out of this is they're thinking like this is like a replacement, or this is like exposed armor is like we don't do exposed armor now we do hemo. It's not like that. He's not necessarily presenting it in this way, but people are kind of jumping on board because a lot of people don't like doing exposed armor because it doesn't feel great all the time. But to explain what it is basically you're swapping the improve exposed armor debuff for a hemo debuff, and then that is like just it's basically like a side grade. You could call it a side grade kind of thing where instead of exposed armor you're getting a hemo debuff instead.
The stuff that he brought up, there's always going to be data issues where your gear has gotten better over the week. So week 4, people have better gear than they did previously. Raid DPS will go up regardless. People will be more familiar with the fight. If something happened in the previous week where somebody used a potion at the wrong time or cooldown, etc., you get better at the game over time. Even if your gear doesn't get better, your raid's DPS will typically increase. So the other thing too that I was like concerned with is when I looked at how it performs, you're losing 5% crit, 60% chance to get an extra combo point, and Relentless Strikes, which actually Relentless Strikes equals hemo for 5-point things. Like, because it takes, like, let's say you Sinister Strike 4 times or 5 times, that's 200 energy, and then you slice and dice, right? And that's 25 energy, but you get it refunded. So it takes you 200 energy to do 5-point slice and dice. For hemo, you hemo 5 times, which is 175 energy, right? And then it takes you 25 to slice and dice, but you don't get a refund. So it takes you 200 energy to 5-point slice and dice with hemo. So losing Relentless Strikes isn't actually as big because of the hemo cost.
Yeah.
So, but losing lethality is pretty big, but lethality isn't actually that large because of the fact that people aren't critting as much right now, right? If you had more crit, lethality would be more applicable. And you get some DPS talents. He didn't actually take all the DPS talents. I'd actually move the 5 points for Master Deception into Opportunity for Garrote. I would move one of the points in Camouflage into Initiative for the 75% chance to get an extra combo point on Garrote to open the fight. And I'd just make those adjustments because those are just DPS increases. But serrated blades is like 560 armor penetration, which is good. And then hemo is like 42 extra damage, 10 charges or something, right?
Yeah, 42.
So,
42, yeah.
Yeah. So it is a personal DPS loss because of how like good surprise attacks is and a few other things in assassination. And there's a lot of dead talents that don't give you any damage, like camouflage, imp sap, right? Elusiveness, things like that. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. So
combining them might be good though.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I was gonna bring that later as well. So like the thing like that like so to re-clarify on like what my thoughts are is that I think it's an interesting kind of thing, but I don't think it's a thing, at least not yet. And here's why. And because people get like really heated in the Rogue Discord in particular when I mentioned like I don't think this is really a thing, and I don't like the data being presented on it. And like here's the reason why I'm not a fan of the hemo is because like firstly the data being presented here, like Zirene said, there's a whole bunch of issues with just the fact that people get better at the fight, gear improves and such. But even the data being used here, there's like 40-second differences in kill time. Like if you want to look at the kill time differences for some of these, like you go from an 8-minute fight to 7 minutes to 6 minutes to 6 minutes 11 seconds to 5 minutes 30. Just those alone are going to completely change your DPS values to the point where like you'd have to throw out this data. Like if you wanted to actually use them for comparison, like you'd have to throw out this data because the fight lengths are too different. Like just the fight length differences themselves would completely change things. And the fact that like you're already seeing weird results because you're using like one-off raid sample sizes, where you're like seeing sometimes where like he even states himself that look, this rogue did not even have Battle Shout and Wind Fury, and he was doing more DPS that particular raid. Like you can't really attribute that to hemo. So there's some like misunderstandings as well. And I'm not saying he's presenting it this way. I'm just saying that the audience is misunderstanding what like the data being presented in some ways. And like one of the big problems is that people go to the sim. So the rogues have a sim. They have two sims actually. And in one of the sims, it's set up in a way that hemo DPS from the debuff is added on to your DPS. So when you sim in there, in the spreadsheet, it actually literally adds in the debuff damage to your personal damage. So that's why people sim it. They're like, oh wait, hemo's a personal DPS increase? It's not. The raid DPS is being counted towards your personal DPS. So it's very confusing to a lot of people. They're not really understanding the actual data. So to explain like why hemo is worse is that right now hemo is just on bosses hands down just better. I mean not hemo. Exposed armor is just hands down better than hemo. Like not even a question. The idea being presented is that because exposed armor's rotation has difficulties and the sim overvalues exposed armor, which I do agree with. The sim definitely does overvalue exposed armor because it's being done in a perfect rotation setting, and no one has perfect rotations in exposed armor. But I don't think, like, even discounting some of the value from exposed armor, it still doesn't beat it. It still relies on the exposed armor guy messing up a bunch before the hemo actually overpasses it. And I don't think it's fair to say like to take a spec and be like, well, if the exposed armor rogue sucks, then he can just do hemo. I don't think the solution there is to be like, well, this guy sucks, so he should just do this. No, he should get better at the thing he's supposed to be doing. Is kind of like the problem. If you're going for the min-max scenario, which is where most people are doing, if you're doing improve exposed armor, you're doing hemo or whatever, you're in a slightly more min-max guild because they actually care about the debuffs and such. They probably want you to go for the thing that's going to give the most performance boost, not necessarily the thing that's going to be easier for you to do. So it comes down to the situation. So when does hemo actually beat exposed armor then? And like firstly, 1-to-1, if you have one rogue in the raid and they're good at exposing armor, like we're assuming they know their rotations and such, hemo is just going to lose 1-to-1. If you have two rogues in the raid, then it gets interesting because then you could do one exposed armor, one hemo. But the downside there is that now the second rogue isn't getting his week off to pump because, again, you're sacrificing your personal DPS to do hemo. So you're actually lowering your DPS for the raid DPS. So that's another question of, do you want your second rogue to not have a week off? He's also now like mini debuff butt for your raid. But the third place where hemo might be interesting is if improved exposed armor 1 sucks, so there's some bosses where the mechanics may just not allow you to do exposed armor well. Or if there's a lot of trash. Because you don't expose armor on trash. And that's where we might see in the later phases where there's a lot of trash coming in. Where like maybe there's a justification case for hemo there in the future.
Yeah, basically, with hemo, if it's 42 physical damage and it's 10 charges, if they're all consumed almost instantaneously, which they basically are, every hemo, even if you're not critting it or whatever, you're getting, and I believe that extra damage can crit that you get, and it's affected by armor. So you're basically giving like about 300 extra damage per hemo that you do to the raid.
Yeah.
Split amongst everybody. So that's basically what the debuff is. You do it and then boom, it's like 300.
So yeah, that's basically the advantages. So like right now it's not a thing, and I don't want rogues to think that jump to conclusion and think, oh no, we're doing this hemo thing now. It's not a thing at all. All the testing being done now is to see if it's viable for the future when there's more trash. That's basically the use case.
Also, if you happen to be a guild that has 2 rogues, maybe one of each, right?
Yeah.
Is probably a good thing.
Yeah, one of the things. Although, like, if I was the second rogue, I would honestly not want to do it because I'd be like, no, man, this is my week off exposed armor. I want to pump. I don't want to be the hemo boy now. Like, but basically, a lot of rogues jumped on this because they thought it was their escape from exposed armor. But it's really not. It's just you're just swapping one debuff for another debuff, and you're still sacrificing personal DPS if you want to do the hemo thing. How long do you have before your raid?
10 minutes, but
10 minutes. Okay, we can speed through the last bits then. Speed run time. But yeah, so hemo is it's interesting, but we need more data basically because all the raid data we have right now just isn't relevant because people have barely done this, and raid data in general is very hard to use because like just popping your cooldowns at a different timing, if the people drop their bloodlust or etc. at a different timing, it completely changes the path of the fight and like completely changes your DPS from one raid to the next. But more data to come. We'll see in future phases whether hemo is actually a thing, but we just have to wait and see. Right now it's not, but maybe in the future.
Yeah. People are excited because it's a different thing and they're bored of exposed armor.
Yeah.
Also, exposed armor is a little clunky sometimes with energy procs, and with hemo, you can rotate slice and dice and rupture actually ticks for a lot. Rupture ticks for like upwards of 400. Yeah. Even in his video, he's got ruptures ticking for like 400.
Yeah, rupture hit hurts when you got the subtlety talents.
It is really good.
So let's speedrun BG talk. Thank God they brought them back. But Zirene, what are your thoughts on 5-man queues? Because I don't like that we're limited to 5. Like I understand the use case. I understand they don't want people to do the where they get crushed by a pre-made, basically. They don't want people to get crushed by pre-mades. But I feel like they've gone the opposite direction I would have gone, where I would have tried to make it easier for people to make pre-mades rather than take away the pre-made option, when now like the only option is, okay, we can do BGs, but now it's just a toxic mess of people yelling at each other. You can't play with more than 5 of your friends. It's
but even annoying. If you want to promote like and make it easier to do pre-mades, it's like some people just like soloing, right?
Yeah,
they don't want to do those things, so it's like it is a little friendlier to that. But then there's also people who want to do pre-mates. But it's brought back an interesting fucking meta. Alterac Valley is basically won by the Alliance all the time now because Alliance pre-mades are back. The pre-made Discord. In fact, you can go to avpremade.com and it puts
they have a website. Jesus Christ.
Yep. You go to avpremade.com and it puts you in the Discord. And then you verify that your Alliance have your Stormpike trinket and 100% movement speed mount, and then they get you in. And it is all the servers. You guys sit in a fucking lobby. You sit in a lobby. People count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 queue. And then when your queue pops, you say how many people are in your group and your server. So you go 5 Fairlina. And if other people go like 5 Whitemane, 5 Herod, stuff like that, you go, okay, drop down. And then you drop into a lobby for your AV. It'll be like AV 1 through whenever. And then you just fucking shit on the Horde. And they get like 0 bonus honor and you get 700.
I mean,
It's probably pretty fucking miserable for the horde right now. Honestly.
Yeah, horde doesn't do. I don't do AV. I don't do. I stay away from AV because it's like 20 minutes of just no honor. Is basically what you get if you do AV. And I have had friends who try to infiltrate the Alliance Discord and maybe give false information. I've heard stories of that happening, which I find hilarious. But like, I had one friend who was like, "Yeah, I was in Alliance Discord. I was telling them like we have there's 8 stealthies going to this spot," and then he would send Alliance over there. And they would arrive and be like, "Dude, there's no one here. There's no one here." And then he just keep making missed calls until he got banned from the Discord. That was his method to try to get around it.
That's great. Yeah, because the meta is different now. It's it used to be like, passing each other and shit. Now it's
Alliance run into you.
Alliance run into you. Alliance try to shit on you as fast as possible, and they call it leaks. You're not allowed to have any leaks, so you're not allowed to let any horde get past the middle portion. And if you get past, you're a leaker.
Yeah.
And then they just fucking go back, and you got to go get them. So yeah, they literally try to annihilate every single horde, and they'll chase you around the midfield.
What do you think about the rewards though? The enlistment bonuses? Because at first when I heard that, they're putting badge of justices in them, and then I was like, oh wait, it seems really rare, and most of the time you get just junk. You just get complete junk in them. Like people have like I have the memes on the screen where people have gotten like an enlistment bonus, and they get like 2 cloth and 3 drinking water.
Yeah, there's things like that. There's badges justice. My friend got 4 mana thistle. I'm getting Terracone decently frequently, right? So it's actually like it's just something extra. It's just more, right? It's like you wouldn't like do this just for this, right? It's just you're getting more out of your BGs, but you wouldn't BGQ just to get this box, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I feel
it's
like
just a little extra something.
It'd be nice if they added. I don't know. Maybe like it has to be buying on pickup, and then like maybe consumables, other things. So they don't wreck the economy, but I feel like people should be maybe getting a little bit more than this. This doesn't feel like incentive for them right now. Feels pretty bad. I have been liking the memes though. The Warglaive of Azinov enlistment bonus.
yeah. Oh my god.
But yeah, I hope they do something bigger than 5 mans though. I hope they do like. I hope they at least give us an option of having the full pre-made, because I miss playing with like a full group of my guildies and things. I haven't been able to do that. That's been a bummer.
I also there was a thing where you could get spirit shards in there.
Really?
You get spirit shards. People were getting spirit shards, and it ended up being a problem. And my friend got banned for 7 days because of it.
Oh, is there something I don't know about the spirit shards?
So what ended up happening is the spirit shards, you could, there was a bug where if you changed zones or logged out and logged back in, and you didn't take everything out of the box, it would respawn the spirit shards in the box. You had infinite spirit shards. Yeah. So my friend was getting infinite spirit shards.
That is not ideal.
It was ideal for him, but now he's banned for 7 days. Yeah. And then there's one guy apparently who abused the shit out of it, and he got banned for 162 days.
Jesus.
Yeah. So there's like a screenshot of somebody with like a 162-day ban, and I'm like, bruh. Oh my gosh, shit.
Yeah, there's definitely some balancing to do with the enlistment bonuses. There's got to be like a nice place where, I don't know, someone suggested to me like, what if they gave like tanks consumables to help them tank, like just for like their raid consumables, but it has to be like buying on pickup so they can't sell it and such. I think that'd be interesting if you get like the PvEers involved. They're like, oh yeah, I gotta get my consumables. I'll go do like a quick BG or 2 and get some consumables. That's an interesting idea.
I mean, that adds a lot of value too, because you can do it for gold farming, right?
Yeah, you could do it for gold farming, gets people involved. Just getting people involved in the BGs is an interesting idea.
Yeah,
but
but it's interesting because it's good for me because I play Prot Warrior, right? And I've been dreading having to farm the resilience pieces on my warrior because I don't want to respec all the time. But this allows me to play AV and get a ton of fucking honor. I got 5k in 2 hours.
Oh, I hate you so much. What I would do for 5k in 2 hours on my horde tune.
Yeah, it was really good, and I didn't have to respec for it because I could just go PVE, which strangely enough, playing prot in PvP, not absolutely terrible. It's actually pretty decent. You execute for harder than other warriors do because you have one-handed weapon specialization, which gives you 10% increased damage, which is supposed to offset defensive stance. But if you're in battle stance or Zerker stance, finishing someone, you'll execute and basically kill them every time. So my executes do 10% more damage than other warriors. It's like, it's freaking weird.
God, yeah, I'm jealous of your honor gains. I've been slowly getting my second rogue. I got to get him a trinket first. PvP trinket is option 1 on my second rogue.
Yeah,
so
dude, the trinket is like, oh, the trinket's a problem.
Yeah, I gotta go do a full day of getting crushed in BGs to get that.
Everything's so expensive. Everything's so expensive.
Yeah. But yeah, so Zirene's got to go raid now.
Yep, they pulled. I've been playing for the last few minutes. I called them dicks because I was just like, I'm logging and shit like that, and I was gonna like stay outside and be like, you can't start without me or else it won't be logged. And then they were pulling anyway, so they called my bluff. Oh,
all right.
I was like, fuck the logs. I need to be there. Full clear.
So thanks for hanging out today, guys. I know we covered a lot of stuff. Some happy stuff, some really deep stuff, but
yeah,
we'll be back next week. Hopefully, some good news. We'll see next week. Blizzard, please don't get in any gambling controversies now. Don't start. That's the next thing for Blizzard. Like it feels.
Oh no, dude.
But we'll see you guys next week. This has been episode 20 of Prepared.